Hey, what's up? It's Autumn.
It's Katie.
And this is Seriously.
Seriously.
What's up?
Yo, we got somebody else in the picture today.
Who's this guy?
And we're in the living room.
True.
Our
Which is
typical
always
setup.
good. Like, we like to move around, but especially when we have company.
Yeah.
And today we have company.
We do.
Hi, company.
Hi, company.
Hi.
Hi. Do you want to
You wanna-
introduce
yeah,
yourself, or you
I'm
want us to
Will.
introduce you?
No, I'm Will.
Will.
It's Will.
What's up?
That's it. It's just Will.
Just Will.
Just one word.
He's kind of like Prince.
No, Madonna more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I support that.
What's wrong with Prince?
Madonna's better.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
okay. And Dallas is also
Dallas the dog.
in the picture because that's just how she does. So yeah, obviously one of our goals this season was that we wanted to have more guests.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Absolutely.
it.
Perspectives.
More perspectives.
I'm honored to be here.
So
Sweet.
we are glad to have you here, and I can't wait to hear your perspective on today's topic. Actually,
I mean, I hope I live up to the hype. So
Yeah.
yeah.
let me hype you just a little bit more.
Yeah. Let's just keep going.
Please stop.
Yeah.
No, please.
Your eyebrows always look amazing.
Thank you.
Well, it is Black History
Just
Month, and I'm gonna need you to live up to Black History Month.
Oh.
Just no pressure.
You've set me up for failure here.
Sorry, I love you.
You set me up for
Sorry,
failure.
I love you. How was your week?
First, before we get too far into this, we
okay.
also want to remind you guys to like us,
Oh,
subscribe, do all that good stuff. We'll remind you again at the end of this episode.
Yes.
But we were just reminded. And so she has already forgotten. So it was my turn.
Kind of have the memory of a goldfish right
that
now.
was quick.
I think what it is that I'm so excited that we have company. Not that I don't
somebody
love
else?
you.
What?
Not that I don't
She's
love
like,
you.
I am tired
but
of talking to you every episode.
It's like we've been cooped up together for so long.
I know.
And I'm really excited to have company.
Yes.
So I lost my mind for a second.
Well, and these always go really well too.
Yeah.
You know, because we get to introduce a somewhat controversial topic in
It's
this case.
most certainly
We'll get
controversial.
into in a second.
Yeah.
But also that it's just a fresh take. It's a fresh perspective. It's a fresh ideas, thoughts. We don't have to listen to each other talk all the time.
Basically,
There's that.
what we didn't tell you is that we're not going to say anything this episode. We're
Just
literally
you.
just going
We're just gonna sit here.
Cool. I can't wait.
We're just gonna
This is great. This is really good.
silently
That's how it's
judging
gonna go.
over there in the corner.
you see us on our phones or something. We're
Well,
not even
that's
paying
nothing
attention.
new.
No, right?
Oh. Okay, yeah, so my bad. Please like and subscribe
Yes.
to all of our social media.
Comment.
Comments
good
below. Yeah, especially after you listen to this episode. We
gonna be
really want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So this week's topic.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, we're gonna ask each other about our weeks, but I just want to put a quick shout out. This topic came from a viewer,
Yes.
and so we are super grateful, and just a massive shout out to you. And we'll.
So, can I just... No.
I guess we're going to. No, go ahead.
No. Can I just say this? Okay. So, when y'all listen and do what you've been asked to do...
Please send us
Then
stuff.
we do.
Yeah, we
like,
read it.
Honest to God, read what you have to say, and we try to incorporate it and shout you out and think about it, and
we talk to you.
Yeah,
we interacted with this
interact
person
with
to
you.
get a better feel for what they were looking for by bringing this topic up.
Yeah.
And man, is it going to be one hell of a conversation? I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're looking forward to that. How was everybody's
Listen,
week?
That was great. I'm on vacay. So.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody asked you.
Yeah.
I literally just asked him. Yeah. Like just now. Right this
How
instant.
about that?
Everybody else here heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is weird.
It's weird. It's weird,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had a good week.
Yeah.
You were on vacation.
I'm afraid to ask questions or answer questions. So.
Love you. I'm sorry.
He's like, I want to go home.
Well, how was your week? It was great. No one asked.
No one asked.
No one asked.
Literally.
I'm sorry. I
All right.
said that.
How was your week?
Okay.
Again,
This
is
is
it
not
a
good.
dentist story?
Actually, I do have a dentist story, but
Oh.
I'm not even going to go into that saga with you because you know what? At this
I already
point,
know it. But
listen,
yeah.
at this point, I'm so
You're
over
done.
this dentist.
You're done.
I can't even begin to tell you right now.
Ah.
I actually have a different story about. Okay, so I got my second vaccine. Have you guys?
Oh yeah.
I just got
You
it
just got
Doozy.
yours?
Yeah.
Okay, how long ago did you get yours?
last Wednesday.
Were you you're
had-
upright, so that's good.
I had to call out of work because I had chills to the point where like I was shaking.
See?
Muscle aches to the
Yeah.
point I couldn't even get out of bed.
Yeah.
And then I had like these cold sweats where my sheets, honestly, I felt like I had just taken them out of the shower and laid them on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samesies.
Yeah.
See?
Same here. It
Yo.
was garbage.
Yeah.
Yo.
Didn't it?
I had shortness of breath.
Oh.
Like,
God, I
okay,
didn't get that.
so
That's
luckily,
not good.
exactly. So see, here's the thing. luckily I have an adjustable bed because I'm like a 90-year-old woman. Okay, so I was able to
look,
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah. Yep. There it is.
I was able
There it is.
to sit my bed up, but it hurt. It legit hurt to breathe.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
the chills. I don't normally sleep. This might be TMI.
It's going to be.
I don't sleep with pants on.
Yep, there it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
I had pants on.
Good times.
I like that neither of us are surprised.
Hey,
Just
no
saying.
one asked you. Okay.
Touche, Fred. Well played.
I'm
Oh
so
my
glad.
Yeah.
Oh, forget it. Okay.
Go on.
No
All
pants.
right.
Orthopedic
No, I don't want
bed.
to. Yeah, orthopedic bed. Yeah, so I'm sitting up. I'm wearing pants, a sweatshirt, socks. I have my bed warmer
Yeah.
on, a down comforter, and I'm still shivering.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
cannot even imagine if I actually had COVID.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
this
Garbage.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Yep. Then I had a headache. That
Yes.
It was just the weirdest headache I've ever had, and it made my damn eyeballs hurt. It was just weird. It was
I think it's like
yeah.
because of the muscles.
Nope,
like
I
it was
know.
affecting your
Oh, yeah,
muscles and
yeah.
probably why, you know,
Yeah.
your eyes were hurting.
Yeah.
No.
I did hear somebody else say that actually, that their eyes
So
really
I mean, in
hurt.
hindsight, though, I'd rather have that than the actual
Yes.
COVID.
Well, clearly.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, but if this
Yeah.
becomes an annual thing,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I know all of us have had our share of it at this point, but yeah. So
But-
when did you get yours? How long ago are we talking?
So I got mine like Tuesday night.
I don't even know what day of the week it is.
I
So
know.
almost a week ago.
Almost a week ago.
Okay.
So I got it Tuesday night, and like not even an hour later, I had a headache and was lightheaded, and I went.
Time out.
I'm going to go.
Time out.
Well, here's my thing, because I'm stupid like that. I go, let me go to bed so I can sleep this off, right?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
in my
it was-
mind. I'm like, whoo, let me ward it off. I went to bed, got up. It did not matter.
No.
I think I may have just
No.
energized it. Like I
Yeah.
let
You
the
gave it
vibe-
time.
Yes,
Yeah.
I let it rest
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And I woke up and it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
What were we gonna say?
Mine didn't
Sorry.
hit me until 24 hours later.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
That was
18
fine.
hours in.
See,
Yeah.
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 Wow.
I got mine at like 8:30 in the morning. I went to the gym like super late at night, and I spiked 103 temp. And I was at the gym. I was like, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And my heart rate's
maybe.
156, and I'm not actually doing anything.
However,
I'm just standing here
Yeah,
drinking
I'm
water.
literally freezing. Let me go
however,
home.
out of this horror story we're telling, you should
Yeah.
still get vaccinated.
Yes, please do.
You should still get vaccinated.
Because
Yes.
having COVID is a no.
Worse.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of the thing, right? Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the takeaway is that
It was
if
48 hours of suck. It was
Yeah.
what it was,
Yeah.
and it was dumb, but we're good, and
Yeah.
we're
and take
hopefully
it
healthy for it.
seriously.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing about this is that if the vaccine makes you feel that way, imagine what actually having it could
Yeah.
do to you. Like
especially
take it
not
seriously.
knowing
Yeah.
all the underlying
Yeah.
things that could make you worse,
Yep.
genetics, all the other fun stuff,
Any
you know.
lung issues. Like,
diabetes,
Yeah.
all the other fun things that you could possibly have.
Yeah. Take
Oh.
it seriously.
For real, for real. So, okay, that was your week.
That was my
Are you ready for mine?
Oh God.
I can't wait.
You know how you have just these moments, and they are semi-life altering,
Okay.
right? And they're
Oh.
just like, you remember them forever,
Oh.
right? You just,
yeah.
they stick with you. So clearly, I have a vision issue. I wear glasses.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, this is another gym story. Just like we have dentist stories, we also have gym stories.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm
That
just saying.
felt a
No,
little
it didn't feel
judgment.
judgy. I'm just saying we literally go to two
Sawdust.
places all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the gym and the dentist,
Yeah.
clearly. But that's the only two places that we frequent.
I can't relate to either of these.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a later night, which is when I prefer to go because nobody's there. In this case, I take my glasses off. I don't wear them when I work out. They just get in the way. They fall off. Do this thing. So I just kind of like meander about aimlessly. But I can see that you exist. Cannot tell any discernible features about your face, body, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm there to do work. Like I'm not here to have it's not a social hour. So I'm doing my thing. I noticed that, and I have my AirPods, whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah.
And they're on the noise canceling, so can't
Oh,
hear anything
God.
except my music and my loud ass breathing.
Love that feature.
Yeah, it's great. Just
Yeah.
tune everything out.
Yeah.
I can over that. I can hear two male voices that are being kind of loud, which is not.
Well, clearly they must be really
Atypical.
loud if they're you can
Yeah.
hear them over the noise cancel.
So they're talking very loudly, and it looks like they're not in any kind of routine. They're just going from whatever to whatever together, and you can tell they're friends, like they're talking.
Uh-huh.
So I get done, and there's a cubby, and that's where all my stuff is. So I pop out my things, and they're even louder without these on because they're also directly behind me at these two machines here. So put my earpods away, turn around, go to walk out. Still haven't put my glasses on. So I haven't identified that these are grown men. They're not teenagers, which is also, kids go there too. Uh-huh. So turn around, and he goes, "Ma'am, can I ask you something real quick?" Yeah, sure. What's going on? And then I realize he's a man. He's got a full beard under his mask. I'm like, okay. He goes, you look really good. You look fit, and your muscles and this, that, and the other. I'm like, thanks. I've been working really hard, right? Like doing my thing.
Okay. Okay. Oh, what? Okay.
I can't wait.
This can't be good, though.
No, it's not bad.
Oh.
It was the compliment of the century. Okay, so he's like, what's your secret? Da da da. He goes, I would love to look like that at some point in my life. What? First off.
Like,
so that's kind of a compliment. Like, you're like, so do I look like a man or do you want to look like a woman?
Yeah,
like,
I know. I was like, okay,
which one is
that? Okay.
Okay,
right.
So either way, and so he goes, no, just the fact that you have definition, blah, blah, blah. I said, cool. So we're chit-chatting, and he goes, how old are you? Which usually some of us can be offended. I don't get easily offended. It's not my first, go-to when somebody asks my age. And I'm like, 38. And he goes, no way. He goes, do you have children? I say, yeah, I got 2 teenagers. They're 16 and 15. And he goes, I thought you were 22. And I was like, sir, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And now I'm out.
And I'm done. That was, no one has ever said that I look 22 in my time. I don't care if it was the mask. I don't care if it was my sweaty glow. I don't care. You cannot take me off of this. I'm 22 in his eyes. That was my week.
That would make me feel good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It would make me feel good.
Yeah. I don't care if he was bold-faced lying.
Listen, I
don't care.
I
don't
think
care.
You look 22.
You lie like a dog.
I was going to say 24.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Never gotten 22. So, 2 things. I rode that compliment for days.
Clearly, you're still riding it right now.
I'm riding right now. I'd be like, you know what, though? Somebody thought I was 22. Can't tell me nothing today. Can't bring me down. Literally, highlight of my week. Uh-huh.
I think that's good then. Whoever you are, sir, kudos to you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
You have made
making her tolerable.
This
made
old
2021. You know what? You know what I should have done? I should have farted on him when I left. How about that?
Really? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? Wow. Okay, on that note, let's get into this episode because I'm over you. You and your old ass.
Me and my old ass. Oh my god. Oh. Sir.
God. Thank you, sir, for...
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay,
so... a lot of build-up for that.
I see that. Well, you had a good week. You're on vacation. You look well-rested.
You got the COVID shot.
I got the COVID shot. My week wasn't that great, but, in hindsight, it kind of was. That was a good thing. And I know that there's some people who are still waiting to get there, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Are we ready to get into this?
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Oof.
Let's get it.
Be dicey.
Do you have
somewhere to be?
Yeah. She's busy.
Sorry, I know. Listen, I feel. You know what? What's so crazy. Okay, so
Actually, I'm gonna put mine on silent.
I know. Will is
Mine's
making fun of me because my watch is going off, and I think that there's some sort of a radar
to feel it
for people. No, that whenever I get on, it's I don't hear from anybody. But the minute we start taping, if bzz, 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 I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Things go off in the corner. There's a lot.
There's a lot to go in it. So, would you like to introduce this topic?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's Black. Just in case y'all have forgotten, it's Black History Month.
It's still Black History Month. It should be Black History all the time.
It's still, well, it is.
Yeah.
We did talk about this. Black people have literally infiltrated everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always Black history. But we are concentrating and focusing on
cultural appropriation
today.
So one of the viewers, we were talking about, brought this topic to our attention, and in particular, a few years back, there's a case of Rachel Dolezal.
Yes.
If you guys haven't seen or heard or familiar with her, who identifies as an African-American woman. So much so that's how she lived her life for a fair amount of it. So the viewer in particular brought up this documentary called The Rachel Divide. It's on Netflix. If you guys want to go check it out, that'll be the basis for kind of the conversation today. We do have our wonderful mediator behind the camera, Mo, that's going to be focusing us a little bit more on some questions that we're going to discuss amongst the three of us, bringing obviously three very different perspectives and thoughts from having watched it, from just having the questions that have been brought up because of having watched it. And we haven't discussed this yet, with the exception of a very brief conversation.
Which I had to pause.
To express, between that, but just to kind of express just some immediate, visceral, emotional responses that had come up for us. So, with that, is there anything I missed? Do we need to add to that? That's pretty.
No, I think that's.
All right.
I think that's where it is. And you guys all remember. Mo, say hi.
Say hi, Mo.
Say hi, Mo.
Oh,
Oh,
she is. She's
acting
back
like-
there.
yeah.
She's behind.
She's
She's
acting like-
behind us.
Some type of way, brand new. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember from that other episode. You know how she can be. Anyway.
Wow.
It's love.
Spicy.
I'm allowed to say that.
Is that
Yeah,
love?
exactly.
Spicy.
Exactly. So I guess we can.
Well, look, I think the premise of this, Rachel Dolezal is a Caucasian-born female.
Yes.
Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Yeah.
Rachel Dolezal identified as a black female, held positions of leadership within the NAACP chapter in Spokane, Washington, and then through so
can
ambush.
So can I just pause right here for a second and say this? For me, this is kind of two different things, right? Yes, we're going to talk about cultural appropriation because that's kind of like, where this spirals into or opens up. But as far as she is concerned, I feel like you're literally just like an imposter. Like it's one thing for you to identify with a culture, and so you want to kind of take on some of those things, but you're still you, right? Like, I'm still a white woman. I just really like the way this looks, right? That's one thing. It's another thing to be, I'm a black, like I am pretending to be something that I'm not. That's two very different things.
Yeah.
So, which is why I think that she got the response that she did. There's a lot of people out here who are appropriating culture.
Every day.
Every day. And they do not get the same kind of response that she got.
Yeah.
Right.
It's, I think, where everybody's reaction, and again, this is me, and, I think where everybody's reaction came from is, like, you trying to trick someone. Like, you trying to
Pull one over. Yeah.
Right?
Bamboozled. We only use that word.
Hoodwinked. Yeah. So I think that's why she got the response that she did.
Yeah.
But it obviously inspired this conversation.
So let's first and foremost start with what do you think cultural appropriation is, and is it okay?
Are there instances where it's okay?
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Are you asking this to me, or is this on the table?
This is on the table.
Okay.
It's on the ground. It's
Okay.
on the, yes. Get the,
No.
Okay, so I felt like it was sort of aimed at me. I'm gonna speak up. Or you want to say?
No, please go ahead.
Okay.
No.
So for me, I feel like it's taking things from another culture, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And claiming them as your own.
Okay.
You are not giving credit where credit is due.
Okay.
You are not acknowledging the source of where you got this from, right?
Yeah.
You are passing it off as something that you have somehow turned into something, instead of saying, this is where it came from. It's fantastic. This is kind of the history behind it or whatever. I think it's so cool. And this is what I want to be a part of it or experience it or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like stealing.
Okay. All right. So then that answers the second question, which is it's not okay then on any capacity.
Right.
All right. Okay. So that lends into cultural appreciation then.
Yes.
Which is the same thing but giving acknowledgement.
Okay.
Is what I would define
but what's
it
the
as.
same thing? I guess that's kind of that space, right? Appropriation to me means, just like you said, You've taken it to be yours, and you've not shared the experience of this entire culture for you. You just haven't.
Yeah.
I
Right.
can't appropriate and make my own something of another culture. Can I appreciate it? Hands down, 1,000%.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between me claiming it as my own, and I think that's kind of the hard part. Appreciation doesn't necessarily mean that you get to experience the same things.
So,
does that make sense?
So what? Okay, so then here's going to be my question to the two of you as far as appreciation of both of your cultures, right? So let's say, is there anything? First of all, Will, tell us what your culture is. No, and I'm not
Probably
being
should have started there. No, I know.
I mean,
Yeah,
dead serious,
no, I
right?
know.
Like, tell us what your culture is, and why are you looking at me?
No, I just want to finish the question.
Okay, so tell us what your culture is, and then what would be a way that somebody could appreciate something, you know what I mean, that it's very specific to you, your family, where you come from, your heritage, that they could show appreciation, that it wouldn't be offensive, you know what I mean, it wouldn't be like, what is this like, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's something that I've asked myself before, and my culture is, my background is my father and my grandmother are from Samoa.
Okay.
So the Samoan Islands, the Pacific Islanders, more like the broad term of things. And it's kind of been brought to light even more so with The Rock, because he is Samoan also.
Right.
And he's kind of integrating it into his movies, where like they do a couple like the dances and things like that. And I've seen like other people like adopt the dances, and just for appreciation's sake. I mean, they're still acknowledging the source.
Right.
So that would be an example of someone, I think, appreciating my culture.
Okay.
But I can't think of an instance where they were appropriating it and not giving acknowledgement to it. But,
And you felt some type of way about it?
Yeah. It definitely happens more
to black culture.
To black culture.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think, which is I think how we find ourselves here. I guess Katie, I guess I'm going to ask you this, and I don't even want to
hold.
No.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, do you feel like there's, and I can't think of a time, like, I mean, let's be frank.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there was ever a time that you appropriated something, like that you look back and you was like, you know what, that price, like maybe.
Yeah, to be honest, I think patterns of speech can be one. I do that a lot.
Okay,
we've had this conversation. No, we're not going to talk about this.
I didn't think about that.
But which is a really good one, and I'm glad that you did bring it up. But there's kind of a funny story behind this.
There's a big funny story.
Because she does this to every single. Everybody. It's not just black people.
Southern, Hispanic. I will take on that.
Absolutely.
But it's an empath thing.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. Where it's trying to identify, and in our position with our job and stuff, it's a really easy and quick way. And I'm not cognizant of it.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not mindfully sitting here going, today this
She's
is
not doing it trying to be funny.
No. I'm not trying to like poke fun or make fun. It happens. You pick up that like speech pattern, and it's just a way to empathize with somebody.
Yeah.
So I will say that, and in our friendship, I noticed that I do it. Now that we've talked about it, it becomes more in the present. Of like I can feel that, or I know that. As far as a culture, I don't think I have one. Right.
Okay.
So, and I say that very loosely. The white culture is an appropriation of everybody else's culture.
Facts.
So honestly, that's why I asked the question if it's ever okay, because if you look at not only just white culture, but just the American culture,
US,
it's just this melting pot
of everything.
Everything. And on some level, I'm kind of proud of that.
Yeah.
Because it's just an acknowledgement and appreciation, but it comes into light where it's an issue when there's no acknowledgement of where it stemmed from. Is where I think the issue lies.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of the issue,
Okay.
I think the second part of that issue is when you act some type of way to the culture that created it.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So when the culture that created it, you're like, oh, that's whack. That's this. That's too much of that. It's too much of this. We don't like that. You know what I mean? You turn it into a negative.
Yeah.
And then you steal it.
Yeah.
Say it's yours. And then now it's cool.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, well, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
Like, hold up. 2 seconds ago, it wasn't okay.
Right.
Now that you want to own it, it is.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, right? And so there's a lack of an appreciation or an acknowledgement of where it came from.
Yeah.
But it was also like I mean, it's like, there's this, I'm trying to think of, oh God, I can't, but where it's like you don't believe what you just saw. Like, you know, are you gonna believe your lying eyes? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I never said that. I never did that. Like this doesn't exist. Like, oh, what happened before this? I never even said this. We never had that conversation. This all just originated with me doing X, Y, and Z. And you're like, no, wait a minute, stand by. It didn't originate here.
Yeah.
It originated there.
Over here.
Yeah. Stop pretending like this is the beginning origins of what happened, you know?
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's where the problem really comes into it.
Okay.
Is this taking of something and not acknowledging.
Not only not acknowledging it, but then treating the person which you stole that from in a certain kind of bad light.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're gonna for the sake of condensing what we just talked about, appropriation we're gonna consider as the lack of acknowledgement,
stealing,
and that's versus appreciation, which is not taking on something that isn't your own without acknowledgement. I think there's a difference there too, where appropriation to me means like you just assimilate yourself into that same culture without like any permission. There's no no permission for that, and I don't mean that ever. I just ever like there's no, I don't know, like I just can't see how it would ever be okay.
No permission. So I just want to piggyback off of that. So if Rachel Dolezal
something
Mm-hmm.
would have asked permission.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's ever okay. Period.
Okay.
Like
right.
if she wouldn't have got it. That's what I mean. Exactly.
So here's the thing. There is and Will, you made a point in the beginning about us being a melting pot, right? And so I think we can all, every last one of us. I mean, listen. In all transparency, I made Black History spaghetti a second ago.
Oh, it was delightful.
Okay, so clearly I took something that was not culturally mine, spaghetti. Right. Okay, and then I put some of my culture on it, and that's what we had. Some spice to it, right? And then that's what we had for dinner.
Yeah.
So I think that everybody in some way, shape, or form kind of does that.
Sure.
Right? That we kind of take and mix and put our little thing in it and whatever. So I think that that's sort of a part of life in living, different places. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay.
Right? But there is something about taking something and kind of putting your thing. I don't even know how to say this in a way that is even going to make sense, I guess. And almost becoming like a caricature of something else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I view Blackness as. This is what I view, being Italian as. This is what I view being Hispanic as.
Yeah.
And so you take on this, like, stereotypical kind of, like, persona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that's what being Black is. And so now it becomes insulting. So it's not like I really like how I do my baby hair. I don't know, whatever. I know I just picked the most random things, right? But I mean, just say, like, you know what I mean? And you just kind of doing it in a way that makes sense and looks appropriate and is okay for you.
Yeah.
And you trying to, like, do it like the chick in the magazine. That doesn't make, you know what I mean? Yeah. Does that make sense? I guess
it does. So I know what you're saying. I agree with it, but I'm trying to find the wording for it. Like, going back to Racheal, she says that she is a Black woman.
Yeah.
But I think this is along with what you're trying to say, is that she's not a Black woman.
Right.
And she's just trying to find what stereotypes she can put on herself.
Right.
To make herself think she's a Black woman.
Right.
That doesn't make her a Black woman.
Correct.
That
she's missing the entire experience.
Yes. Right.
The entire experience of what an entire culture lived through and went through and created that culture. She doesn't just get to jump in.
Well, it's also
halfway.
Here's the thing:
her life.
Your hair, your hair doesn't make you Black, right? It's a part of, but there's Black people who have all different types of hair, right?
Yeah.
Straight hair, curly hair, wavy hair, no hair, whatever. Just like any other culture.
Yeah.
So taking that on and there's all different shades of Black. You know what I mean? You can have extremely light skin to the point where you almost look white, and you can have a very dark skin to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything in between.
Yeah.
So again, you are, which is where the insulting piece is almost like you feel like you can sum up an entire culture into like, you know, this little stereotypical bubble.
Yeah. Which
further shows that you don't know what it means to be black. You know what I mean? You're just totally making this up.
So do you think that people, more African Americans, are mad at her because she is doing this caricature of what she believes a black person is, or is it? Do you think it's probably all the above, that she doesn't know the hardship,
right?
And I think it was in the documentary where it says a lot of, you know, black women had to like go through this self-loathing process because you know, how our society paints beauty, and how, you know, you had to come to your own self, you know, love and caring. Like, do you think it's all those things? Do you think it's just the specific thing that she just has no real appreciation of what black is?
I think it is all those things.
Okay.
I do. I honestly, I think, you know, it's no different. Let's put it this way. Like, if I came in here and was like, I identify as a white woman, or identify as a Samoan man.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, this chick is like, and not because I'm just saying, but because like I never walked in that space.
Right.
Right? So anything I'm saying is me taking an observation, but it's still me seeing it through a black woman's eyes.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like, so she is seeing blackness through a through a white woman's eyes.
Yeah.
Well, and that brings up another point too. That relationship isn't reciprocal.
Correct.
Right? So whatever she's viewing as the black experience,
right,
it can't be reversed.
Right.
You can't do that from a black woman trying to be a white woman.
Right.
You're not gonna. It's two different things.
Right.
It blew my mind the entire
show.
I was like this, and we were texting, and I was just like.
For those of you who can see, her mouth was open. Yeah, her mouth was open.
Well,
so I think, so here's where the natural kind of question, and we talked about this, kind of comes from is, you know, with anybody, is there an ability to really kind of, because we've even seen those in the past where like fathers will put on like the pregnancy suit.
Okay.
To walk to
feel pregnant.
Experience the mom.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Whatever. It does that do, walking in that kind of space, does that bring about a certain level of
she says, I want to talk to Mom. Come on.
Does that bring about a certain awareness? Enough awareness. Like,
I would say more along the lines of appreciation. And I think he can appreciate that his lower back hurts because he just carried this massive weight. He can appreciate that he has the ability to take it off and his wife doesn't, or whatever the case may be.
At the end of the day, he can take that off.
Yeah.
And just like at the end of the day, Rachel can wash her tan off.
Yeah.
Take that wig off. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know why Dallas is.
She says, I have things to do.
She doesn't have anything to do other than just to be annoying, which I think is what she does every single time we get into this episode. So okay, thoughts on, does it make you uncomfortable?
Which part?
When you see people
that define uncomfortable, because I think that's a very broad term.
So
you
see people, you see a white girl, or you know, wearing braids, speaking with a certain kind of vernacular. Does that make you uncomfortable? Like, to see that, does that no? Feel some kind of way?
No, I mean, so I think like vernacular and like even braids. I don't think those are. Like, I don't know that woman's history or where she was brought up or anything like that. But and I also don't think that necessarily she's trying to say that she's a black woman. I just, if that were the case where she's come up to me and trying to tell me that she's black and
that's different.
That's different.
Or holding positions of authority as a black woman.
Or educating on, what was it? She was teaching
African studies.
African studies.
Yeah.
From the point of a black woman.
Right.
That would make me
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Ditto.
Like, who are you to
You have no
even have a
experience,
concept.
Yeah, you can study all you want, you can have all these things and experiences, but like it's not the same experience.
Right.
Do you find it uncomfortable?
I find it disrespectful, annoying, immature,
okay,
ridiculous.
okay.
Let me continue with my list. I find it
But not uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable for you.
I see.
And I don't mean you as in you,
The
but
person
as in the
we're talking
person
about.
who's doing it.
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable for you because you don't even realize that right now. Like for me, you look like a clown. Like that. I mean, that's in my mind. That's how it comes across.
Yeah.
Because it's so just out of pocket.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I think there's a certain level of flattery, I guess, that's assigned to it or associated with it because you clearly, there's something that you have found that you are attracted to.
Yeah.
But where the immaturity and all of those other pieces kind of come from is, again, you've like wrapped it into this package that you think that this is what being black is about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's so many versions. Like you could have chosen to be Obama black. And I'm laughing, like, you know what I mean? But I mean, that's a version of black.
Yeah.
You could have chosen to be Oprah black.
Yeah.
You could have chosen to be, you know what I mean, Chris Rock black. You could have chosen to be Dave Chappelle. Like, there's so many versions.
Yeah.
Because of, there's no stereotypical way.
Nope.
You chose to be this, again, caricature. This very stereotypical caricature, which to me shows your immaturity.
Yeah.
It shows your lack of awareness about life and people, you know? And so that's disrespectful and annoying.
Okay.
You know? I think that if you had some sort of real awareness about, I see this dance, and we kind of talked about this with like cornrows and stuff, and like what kind of some of the history behind it and stuff and things like that. And if you understood that and you did it in a way, or you presented things in a way where there was the beauty or the story associated with it, then it has a very different vibe, a very different feeling.
Okay.
So let me bring this up because her background in particular, it wasn't that she was just living as she was self-identifying as a black woman, but she moved her life in that direction too, where she attempted to hold these different positions and teach these different things. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, it wasn't just looking at from a very one-dimensional piece of what we had, which was this documentary, and there were some other things that I looked into reading-wise, but as far as like what she did educational-wise, it wasn't just this appropriation of this culture that wasn't hers, but then she wanted to go another step with that and like teach and be in the community, be an activist and all these things. So can we talk about that? Because that for me, I don't have that experience of being in that space other than just what I've done in my own life, but that's not the same as what Rachel Dolezal